Similarly, the Federal Trade Commission (FTC) determines what qualifies as deceptive advertising based on its regulatory expertise. This reliance means that bureaucrats not only enforce laws, but also significantly shape public policy through their specialized knowledge. Conflicts can arise between political appointees and career bureaucrats, particularly when decisions involve complex technical details. An illustrative example is Secretary of Defense Robert McNamara, who faced resistance from military leaders while trying to implement cost-cutting measures. This tension underscores that while bureaucrats possess technical expertise, they may clash with political leaders who must make overarching policy decisions. Understanding the nuances of such conflicts is essential for navigating the relationship between elected officials and administrative experts. The advisory role of bureaucracies is not limited to the U.S. It is a common characteristic in modern industrial states. For example, in France, the bureaucracy actively assists in drafting and promulgating laws, particularly through the Council of State. This involvement allows bureaucrats to shape policy directly. Similarly, in Germany, bureaucrats influence legislation due to their focused expertise and the lack of supervisory responsibilities. This trend highlights the bureaucrats' significant role in not just executing, but also crafting policies, raising questions about accountability and representation. In the 20th century, bureaucracy has often been criticized for becoming large, powerful, and unresponsive to citizens' needs. Critics argue that it has developed a life of its own, detached from the purposes it was created to serve. Suggestions for reform frequently involve increasing the number of bureaucrats, but this may not effectively address the core issues. Instead, some propose innovative solutions like the establishment of independent ombudsman offices to oversee bureaucratic conduct and ensure accountability. The ombudsman system, originating in Sweden in 1809, features an official appointed by Parliament, not the executive, to represent citizen interests against bureaucratic injustices. This independence is crucial. An agency cannot effectively police itself. The ombudsman intervenes on behalf of citizens, utilizing subpoena power to investigate complaints against bureaucrats. Countries such as Denmark, Norway, and New Zealand have adopted this model, demonstrating its potential effectiveness in holding bureaucracies accountable while fostering trust in public institutions. While the U.S. does not have a formal ombudsman, members of Congress often perform similar functions through constituency services. They advocate for citizens who feel wronged by bureaucratic processes. The effectiveness of an ombudsman relies heavily on a society's respect for law and moral accountability. In countries with strong legal traditions, a mere reprimand from an ombudsman can prompt bureaucratic compliance. In contrast, the American legal context, characterized by a propensity for litigation and a diverse array of legal challenges, might complicate the ombudsman's role. The cultural perception of authority and accountability in the U.S. could hinder the straightforward functioning of such an oversight system, making its implementation a complex endeavor. In the U.S., while implementing an ombudsman system poses challenges, several mechanisms exist to oversee bureaucracy. Congress employs the Government Accountability Office (GAO), the Congressional Research Service (CRS), and the Congressional Budget Office (CBO) to provide checks. The GAO ensures federal funds are spent correctly, while the CRS equips Congress with expertise to challenge executive specialists. Established in 1974, the CBO strengthens Congress's budgeting functions in response to the influential Office of Management and Budget, creating a balance between legislative and executive powers. Many politicians pledge to reduce bureaucracy, appealing to citizens nostalgic for a time without bureaucratic interference. However, attempts to cut bureaucrats often mean eliminating programs that citizens rely on. Politicians and citizens alike generally aim to cut programs they perceive as unnecessary, rather than those they personally benefit from. Once established, welfare systems are tough to dismantle, as many people have vested interests in their continuation. In the 1980s, President Reagan's administration attempted to maintain programs while underfunding them, complicating implementation and causing dissatisfaction. Decentralization can improve bureaucratic responsiveness by bringing decision-making closer to the people affected. In highly centralized systems like France and Italy, this shift can enhance efficiency but may also foster corruption. Without oversight from central authorities, local bureaucrats might operate without accountability. In the U.S., the decentralized education system provides local control, but leads to disparities in quality and outcomes, including racial segregation. While many citizens appreciate local governance, they also desire federal support, highlighting the complexities of true decentralization. Decentralization empowers local officials to make decisions tailored to their communities, promoting accountability and responsiveness. However, it can also create inconsistencies and challenges in service delivery. In the U.S. context, federal oversight remains essential, particularly in areas such as education and public health, where standards and funding disparities can have significant consequences. Balancing local autonomy with necessary oversight requires careful design of policies and practices to mitigate the risk of corruption and ensure equitable access to services across diverse populations. Decentralization can lead to varying standards and coordination issues. For example, in Germany's decentralized federal system, reaching an agreement among different lenders to address the severe pollution of the Rhine River took years. Each state interpreted its environmental responsibilities differently and was reluctant to cede authority. This illustrates how decentralization, while aiming to empower local governance, can complicate efforts to tackle significant issues that require unified action across multiple jurisdictions. Decentralization does not necessarily reduce the number of bureaucrats. It often redistributes them across various levels of government. This can lead to a perception that there are even more bureaucratic obstacles in people's lives, as local agencies take on responsibilities previously held at the national level. As such, individuals may feel an increase in bureaucratic oversight rather than relief from it, complicating their interactions with government services and potentially leading to frustration among citizens. While many governments tout the advantages of a non-political, neutral bureaucracy, the U.S. experience raises questions about whether this detachment is beneficial. The historical spoil system allowed political bosses to place loyal supporters in key positions, often resulting in corruption but also responsiveness to citizen needs. A degree of political influence in the bureaucracy could reinvigorate innovation and responsiveness, as politically appointed officials may bring fresh perspectives and align bureaucratic action with public interests and elected officials' mandates. Political appointees can introduce necessary changes and invigorate bureaucratic processes, often lacking in career civil servants who may prefer routine. With around 3,000 appointive positions available for a new American president, this power is vital for maintaining some control over the bureaucracy. However, there's a delicate balance to strike. While these appointments can foster responsiveness, they also risk introducing corruption and patronage if not managed carefully. The challenge lies in integrating fresh insights while safeguarding against potential abuses of power. The negative aspects of political appointments must be weighed against their potential benefits. While they can lead to corruption and favoritism, political appointees can also enhance efficiency and responsiveness in the bureaucracy. Maintaining a balance between career civil servants and political appointees is crucial for a government that is both accountable to its citizens and capable of adapting to changing needs. As citizens become more aware of bureaucratic inefficiencies, the conversation about the role of politics within bureaucracy will become increasingly important. Despite the common disdain for bureaucracy, it is essential to recognize that it was established by our representatives for specific reasons. Bureaucracies are funded and designed to carry out functions that serve society's interests, such as regulating safety and ensuring fairness. For instance, the process to obtain a driver's license might seem cumbersome, but it ensures that only qualified individuals are allowed to drive, promoting public safety. The existence of regulations reflects a collective societal choice rather than bureaucratic overreach. The question of whether bureaucrats interfere too much with private industry must be viewed through the lens of public safety and welfare. Imagine the consequences of eliminating regulations on food, drugs, and product safety. Such a rollback could lead to dangerous products flooding the market, putting consumers at risk. Bureaucracies, often viewed as obstructive, actually work to uphold standards that protect the public. This balance is crucial in a society that prioritizes safety and health over unregulated market practices. Concerns about equal opportunity regulations often highlight the tension between fairness and competition. Some argue that affirmative action policies may disadvantage white applicants in law schools and job markets. However, it's crucial to understand that these policies were established by legislative bodies to promote equity and rectify historical injustices. Bureaucrats enforce these laws, but they are the product of Congress's decision-making. The ongoing debate reflects broader societal values about justice and equality in opportunities. Ultimately, the establishment and function of bureaucracies stem from decisions made by elected officials. When citizens express frustration with bureaucratic processes or regulations, it is important to remember that these were not arbitrary decisions. Instead, they were created by lawmakers in response to societal needs and pressures. This accountability reinforces the notion that if citizens are unhappy with bureaucratic actions, they must engage with their representatives to advocate for changes, maintaining a democratic dialogue. To fully grasp the role of bureaucracy in society, it's vital to acknowledge its intended purpose in maintaining order and implementing laws passed by legislative bodies. Bureaucracies manage complex systems and ensure compliance with regulations that reflect societal values, such as safety, fairness, and public welfare. While they may seem cumbersome at times, their existence is rooted in collective decisions to enhance the quality of life for all citizens. Understanding this can foster a more nuanced view of bureaucratic functions. The inherent complexity of our modern society is reflected in the bureaucratic structures we often criticize. While Congress may sometimes draft vague laws, placing much responsibility on bureaucrats to create guidelines, the blame shouldn't rest solely on their shoulders. Bureaucrats are tasked with interpreting and implementing these laws to manage the complexities of daily life. For instance, regulations around nuclear power and environmental safety were established for public protection, not as burdensome obstacles. As we navigate life in a complex society, the role of regulations becomes increasingly vital. Attempts to simplify bureaucratic processes often reveal the necessity of these rules. Removing regulations can lead to adverse outcomes, such as unsafe products or environmental disasters. The complexities of our world, from automobiles to telecommunications, necessitate a robust bureaucratic framework that ensures public safety and accountability. The bureaucrats enforcing these rules are essentially a reflection of society's collective needs and values. In the end, bureaucracy cannot be eliminated if we want to retain the safety and structure needed in modern life. Each regulation and civil servant is in place for a specific reason, often aimed at maintaining order and protecting citizens. While it's crucial to strive for improved efficiency and effectiveness in bureaucratic processes, we must also acknowledge that these systems were established in response to genuine societal needs. Ultimately, these bureaucratic entities are not external but integral parts of our society. For those seeking to delve deeper into the intricacies of bureaucracy, Stephen L. Carter's The Confirmation Mess examines the federal appointment process and proposes criteria for evaluating federal appointees. This exploration highlights the significance of accountability within bureaucratic systems. Similarly, Michel Crozier's The Bureaucratic Phenomenon provides a critical look at bureaucracy, particularly in France, encouraging readers to consider the broader implications of bureaucratic structures and their impact on governance and society. For an insightful overview of bureaucracy and its potential for reform, Brian R. Fry's Mastering Public Administration, From Max Weber to Dwight Waldo, is a must-read. This book provides a thorough exploration of leading theorists in public administration, shedding light on historical context and contemporary issues. It emphasizes the importance of understanding bureaucratic structures and how they can evolve to better serve society, highlighting reform as a viable and necessary goal in modern governance. In Are Bureaucrats Different? James C. Garand conducts an empirical study that compares the political attitudes and behaviors of bureaucrats with those of the general public. This work reveals insights into how bureaucratic perspectives can influence policymaking and implementation. Understanding these differences is crucial for recognizing the complexities of governance and the factors that affect bureaucratic responsiveness to democratic ideals and public needs. Judith E. Gruber's Controlling Bureaucracies. Dilemmas in Democratic Governance delves into the theoretical and practical challenges of regulating bureaucratic agencies within a democratic framework. Through various case studies, Gruber examines how democracies can maintain accountability and control over bureaucracies, which often operate with significant independence. The book discusses potential strategies for ensuring that bureaucratic actions align with democratic values and public expectations. The Politics of Regulatory Change. A Tale of Two Agencies by Richard A. Harris and Stanley M. Milkus critically analyzes the Reagan administration's approach to regulatory agencies and its attempts to navigate legal boundaries. This book highlights the complexities and ethical dilemmas faced when bureaucracies interact with political agendas. The authors illustrate how political motivations can shape regulatory practices, leading to significant implications for governance and public trust in institutions. Legal systems are crucial for governing society and consist of two main elements: a recognized body of law and an enforcement mechanism. In primitive cultures, laws were often unwritten, relying on traditions and social mores to dictate behavior. However, modern societies utilize codified laws, which are documented in writing, to ensure clarity and consistency. This evolution towards codification aims to make laws more precise, aiding in their uniform application across diverse situations and populations. The process of legal codification has historical roots, tracing back to ancient civilizations. Early examples, such as the Ten Commandments and the Code of Hammurabi, illustrate how societies established rules to govern behavior. These codified laws were significant milestones in the development of civilization, providing structured guidance for conduct. Codification has since evolved, forming the backbone of modern legal frameworks and contributing to the establishment of justice in increasingly complex societies. Roman law stands as a foundational pillar in the history of legal systems. Its comprehensive approach addressed various aspects of social life, emphasizing that right reason should govern human affairs. The flexibility and universality of Roman law allowed it to adapt over time, influencing legal practices far beyond ancient Rome. Its principles were later integrated into the Catholic Church's canon law and provided the groundwork for many modern legal systems, ensuring its lasting legacy.